I was kind of hoping that the Trump years, for all of the hysteria and chaos, would teach people about politics without romance, to borrow Buchanan's phrase. But I'm not sure that actually happened. And their response instead was, no, we want to continue to pursue Camelot. We just have to win the political fight so that our guy has that power, and we trust our guy.
That's exactly right. One of the things, and I'm not a Trump opponent. I wasn't an Obama fan. I don't like either of the main parties or what they stand for. So I have no dog in that hunt. But one of the things that really bothered me about the whole Trump fiasco, and he was an outlier on certain margins. On other margins, people pretended like he was an outlier, but he was just doing business as usual. He was more vocal about it and rude about it, perhaps. But in some sense, he just pulled back the curtain like the Wizard of Oz, so you got to see the kind of
It seemed
operation.
more stylistic to me than...
So he lacked the polish in many ways that where many politicians are sticking their hand in your pocket with one hand and then shaking your hand with the other, or patting you on the head and telling you how great they are on the other. But in any case, one of the effects it had, it seems to me, is it normalized that kind of normal, the sticking your hand in your pocket with one hand and shaking your hand with the other, where when Biden got elected, people were so excited it wasn't Trump that they're willing to forego and forgive a lot of things. And the same thing happened, by the way. This isn't just this instance. I mean, think about George Bush and Obama. When George Bush was in office, remember, not far from where we're sitting right now, there was a huge anti-war movement. Outside the White House, there was a huge anti-war movement. Bush leaves, Obama comes in, it basically disappears almost overnight. Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Yeah.
Who escalated the drone war, made what it is today. And people point to certain things pulling back on troop levels. Oh, this is a joke. Somehow, the Obama administration was this radical group that somehow curtailed U.S. Interventionism abroad. Anyone that pays attention to these things, it's nothing of the sort. And of course, leveraged the Espionage Act more than any administration in the history of the United States in a way that it wasn't intended. Again, shows, to your point earlier, the long-lasting effects of government policy. You have the Espionage Act passed in 1917, so related to World War I. It sits on the books, and then the Obama administration starts using it. In what regard? Leaking of information, journalists, and so on, which wasn't the initial intention. And so it's just another example of how when you give the government power, even if it's dormant, in this case for decades, it can be used by future administrations for their own narrow purposes, and in the process undermine liberty. Yeah. And so this is the concern.